But according to your scripture, your God blew into her private part. That's what your Quran says. That's what your Quran says. All right? So this is part of the process. Part of the process of bringing. This is what God did. Your God in heaven blew into her private part in order to bring this person into the world of a virgin. That's a very interesting process. How God stoops down to blow into the private parts of a woman. What your Quran says, he's more than just a prophet. For a start, he's more than just a prophet. He's more than just a prophet. He's more than just a prophet. We know that. But you don't believe that he's the Son of God? That's what you say. That's because your Quran.
Because in Christianity,
It says we blew into her farj. It says that. Farj. The word is there. I'll show you. It's there. Let me finish.
Okay, why does it not sit well with you?
It's not like. So if I showed you, will you say, what will you do?
Let me
If I
ask you,
showed you.
can God be in heaven and walk the
Let me
earth at the
finish
same
this.
time simultaneously? Can God be in heaven? Where is God? God's in heaven, yes?
No, everywhere.
Is he in heaven? Is he in
Let me
paradise?
finish.
God is everywhere.
Okay, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. Okay. Can God be a spirit and walk the earth in the form of a human being at the same time? Can he do it? No, can he do it? He can do it. Okay, so because he's omnipotent, he can do what okay? And so he can come to earth in the form of a human being and still be everywhere at the same time. He can be omnipresent and still be in the form of a human. He can do. Yeah, he's capable of doing it. Okay, but I'm responding to when you said, "How can God?" Once you say, "How can God?" ... You can ask God. You can ask that question. But when you ask it in the sense that God, you're inferring that God cannot do that. We'll read it for ourselves. No, don't take my word for it. Don't take his word. Let's read it for ourselves, shall we? Let's read it for ourselves. For unto us a child is born. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. Unto us a child is born. Please do. Yep. There we go. Unto us a child is born. Unto us a son is given. And the government shall be upon his shoulders. And his name shall be called Wonderful, Counsellor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. So this child is going to be the Mighty God. The Hebrew is El Gibor, Mighty God. That's the Hebrew. Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. This is the child that's going to be born. Let's go back to just 2 chapters where it says, the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and give birth to a son, and his name shall be called Immanuel. Immanuel means God with us. So this is in the book of Isaiah. This is approximately 700 years before Jesus comes. Not sources 700 years later, but 700 before. So that's why when we look at the Old Testament, these are called messianic prophecies. So if you do your own research regarding messianic prophecies in the Old Testament, what's called the Tanakh, the Jewish scriptures, there are approximately 300 prophecies in the Old Testament that prophesies about the Messiah coming. So let's go back to that point I just made there. He said it wasn't there. We read it for ourselves.
No, yeah.
It's there we read it for ourselves.
No, there is an issue.
We read it for
The translation
ourselves.
was fabricated and it got rejected.
There's no fabrication. There is no fabrication at all. There's no. That's when you look at the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls covers the book of Isaiah. So have a look. The Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered. The Dead Sea Scrolls.
1546?
The Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered in the 1940s in the cave in Qumran. The copies of that. So my takeaway is this: if you're going to go, that's okay. That's all right. But my
in 1546, and the new version was in 1963. The same, and they have removed the 1963 version of St. James with a lot of those mistranslations. I wouldn't say the Bible didn't exist. No, it did exist, but it was mistranslated because of the language barriers.
Yeah, you see,
because of the language barrier.
Thank you. Even if you look for yourself.
And it was my Christian brothers who said no, that has been mistranslated.
Okay.
It
So
wasn't Muslim, it wasn't us.
even if I believe that, even all I need to do is go to the Jewish people. All I need to go is go to Orthodox Jews and ask them about the book of Isaiah, and read this. Read it in Hebrew, and read it in Hebrew, and read it in English. Everything that's there in English is there in Hebrew. So all I need to do, so anybody saying this has changed, I just need to go to a rabbi and say, let me read the book of Isaiah, let me read the scroll of Isaiah, and all of it is there. So that is complete nonsense what he's saying. So you need to look for yourself. You need to look for yourself about the prophecies. Yes, please do. Do your own research. Do not believe me. Do not believe him. Do your own decision.
I believe in my religion.
But
In the Jesus religion, what?
thank you, man. Thank you. Is he the Son of God?
Our objection is not rejection of the religion, is the change.
Yeah.
Our
What
issue.
has changed? 100 years ago.
697 Bibles.
100 years ago, how many Qurans were thrown into the Nile? Which one should I believe? The Hafs or the Wash? Which one should I believe? Do your own research. 1924, they were thrown into the Nile. 1924, they were thrown into the Nile.
And there was one more edition, 1954.
1954? No, okay. This is your book. 1924.
1924, there was one edition, and then there was corrections in 1954.
No,
Exactly. Yes, there were. Why did they? Why?
Premise printing machine.
Exactly.
The Quran, and in 1864,
1924, Egypt, thrown into the Nile.
Sultan Ahmed.
People have memorized the Quran throughout history. That's how
Since when?
It's from the time of Prophet.
Okay, so you're saying that the Quran was around during the time of Muhammad.
not a physical version, the copy.
Okay.
To the Prophet.
Revealed. Okay.
And it was written down during that time.
Has it changed?
No, it hasn't.
Never changed. Never changed. So what's the difference between the Hafs and the Wash?
They were incorrect versions.
Which is the incorrect and which is the correct version?
The correct version is the version the version that people have memorized for centuries.
So just because people have memorized it, does that make it true?
It means that it's been preserved. It's been preserved
was still around.
Yeah. By whom? Who's preserved it?
by the millions of people. Millions of people are saying the same thing throughout history.
You see, I've got written on my T-shirt the holes in the narrative. Do you know what that refers to? The holes in the narrative? One of your so-called scholars, Yasser Qadi, he said 4 years ago, the standard narrative has holes in it. You've heard that the Quran has never changed. You've heard that, yes? The Quran's never changed. You've heard that. You've heard that because you've been told it. But the question, is it true?
It's never changed, yes.
Yeah, because it's never true.
You know the Jewish translation of that? You know the Isaiah 9?
Holes in the narrative.
Sir, this is the Jewish translation. It doesn't mention anything about the God being born.
Holes in the narrative. Holes in the narrative.
We follow Islam.
Yeah.
We believe it's the same religion. It hasn't been changed.
Okay. Yeah, you believe that because you've been told it.
What he's talking about, right? This is the Jewish translation
that's
of
the
their
reason.
Isaac 9,
Because it
chapter 9.
remains the same. That's why we believe in Islam.
He was saying that.
Yes. Yeah.
Ma'am, he was saying I'm
But which-
lying, right? This is the Jewish translation of chapter 9 of Isaac 9. Sir, please have a look. You told us a lie in your Bible again.
No.
In your King James Bible, sir, you told us a lie.
You are the one who
With
is
all
lying.
respect, my brother.
You are the one who's lying.
Sir,
You are the
look,
one who's
sir,
lying.
This is you said. This
You
is the Isaac
you are the
9.
one. You are the one who's lying.
No,
Okay.
You're telling a lie.
That's
of
why I
this
say
book,
look.
which is not
That's
the
why I
Bible,
say.
it's a translation, sir.
That's why I say look for yourself.
Now here,
The prophecies of the
here
Old
I
Testament.
found-
You are look for yourself. The prophecies of the Old Testament.
My brother.
You're the one lying.
My brother.
You are the one
I
lying.
love Jesus, wallahi.
You don't.
You know, I love Jesus, wallahi.
No,
Look
you don't.
What he's saying.
You don't know Jesus.
Look what he's saying. You referred the book. I'm giving you the reference, my brother.
You are-
give me one reference wrong with the Quran, I will give up Quran today.
Give it up.
You give me one fabrication in the
Give it-
Quran,
give it up.
I give up
Give it up.
Islam today.
Yeah. So I got a question for you. In the Quran, it says a man is allowed to beat his wife. Are you okay with that? Surah 4:34.
Yes, absolutely.
You okay? Are you okay with that?
doesn't say
A man, yeah.
Does it say?
One second.
A man is allowed to beat his wife.
1 second.
Surah 4:34.
They're very good with it. You know,
It's not a means translation. Okay.
Islam is the most peaceful religion.
Are you sure?
Value women like no other.
Muhammad, okay. Most of the occupants in hell, are women.
with the missionary, we tell them.
No, it doesn't say that.
Yeah. Thank you. There we go. Your prophet says most of the occupants of hell are women. Women have half a brain. Is that true? Yes or no?
Half a brain.
Half a brain. No? Okay. A man is allowed 4 wives. Am I lying?
Man could be more superior than women in some aspects.
Okay. A man is allowed 4 wives. Am I lying?
Look down on women. In our religion, we never look down.
A man is allowed. If I become a Muslim, how many wives can I have?
But can you tell
I'm only
us
asking a question.
about history and how there were wars? That's why man was allowed to marry more than one woman.
Forget wars. I'm talking about today. Today, how many wives can I have? How many wives?
Yeah, like now it continues. I truly believe, like I'm Turkish.
Okay.
I'm Muslim.
Yes.
In our culture, we're not allowed to marry more than one woman. But it continues. I don't think it's true, but in the past they did it because of security reasons.
Okay.
Because of security.
For example, you're Turkish. Imagine you lived in a village with your family and everything, and your village was attacked. You went to war. You had friends. Sir had friends.
You found the
And their husband was killed. And there's no social welfare.
Please tell me, you found the fabrication or not yet? This is the Jewish translation. You said the Jewish says that, right?
You know what? You have to take the only way you can treat the kids. The only way you can
I
treat the
proved
kids
him,
as your kids
and he's not
is you have
talking
to
about
take
it.
You know?
I mean, in the
There's something you have to do in context. Otherwise, how does it
security
look like
reasons.
context? They were orphans. So how are you supposed to take care of a orphan? Tell him, if there's a Christian woman and the Christians went to war, and there's another orphan child, how is he supposed to take care of the orphan child?
I'll let you carry on this debate.
Yeah.
Have a type holes in the narrative. Just see where my finger is here.
Yeah.
Holes in the. Have a little photograph.
You know, he's twisting everything.
Have a look. And do that for yourself. Lovely meeting you there. Take care. Have a lovely evening. Take care. Okay. What's that? Okay. Wrap it up. We're just talking about the prophecies, the messianic prophecies in the Old Testament in the book of Isaiah. When they say that Jesus is not God, how can God be the Son of God and God at the same time? So we just pointed to some of the messianic prophecies, some of them in Isaiah, prophesying about the birth of Jesus and him coming and being Wonderful Counselor, the mighty God, the everlasting Father, and the Prince of Peace.